the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him. But we have the mind of Christ. So the mind of Christ is then revealed through the convictions, or the knitting together of all the various convictions that we have. We begin to put on the mind of Christ. And the Bible says that, and he that has the mind of Christ can instruct the Christ. And this word instruct is from the root word, I believe, baibeon, which means to join together. That he that begins to follow the convictions which are contrary to the convincings, begins to walk together with God, begins to be joined with the Lord, begins to walk in step with whatever God is doing in a season, in an area, amongst a group of people. So you notice that convictions tend to be contrary to the convincings. Okay. And sometimes some people even phrase this as like a gut feeling. You notice this in Matthew chapter 9 and the verse 35 and 36. The Bible says, and Jesus came to a church that was full of people. He was coming to teach. He was coming and healing and delivering them. And usually a setting like that, a full church, it gives the impression of prosperity, oneness. We've overcome certain things. Whenever people are being healed in a place, it gives a sense of this faith and this belief. But the Bible then says, and Jesus was moved within himself. He was moved with compassion. And that word moved is from the word, his gut or his spleen twisted within him. And then he came to say that, these people are people who are fainting, which is contrary to what you'd expect maybe like of a full church or of a mega church. The people are beginning to look prosperous. The people are beginning to look like they've overcome some things, but that normal convincing of what we see, the conviction of the Lord, will then reveal the real state, that these people are actually lost. They are fainting. The Bible says that, and they are scattered like sheep without a shepherd. So he came to a sheepfold and noticed that there's pastors here and assistants here and deacons and all of that, but the people don't have a shepherd, which is difficult to see from your physical side, but the conviction, which is opposing the convincing, is able to speak and minister to you. And so David wrote this and said in Psalms 139 that, I think from the verse 12 and 13, that, you have possessed my reins, which meant my gut feeling, my intuition, my spleen. And then he says, because you have possessed my reins, the point of the feeling of conviction, he said that, nothing that is in darkness is hidden from me. And when I look at things, light and darkness, to me, there is no difference, because I'm then able to see and discern past the natural. So I believe that this is a major key, in discernment. And I believe that in 2025, we're going to really believe God, to believe more of what we are convicted about over what we are convinced about, in order to walk in step with the Lord. And I believe that our